YouTube fam, welcome back to another YouTube video. Today, we're reacting to Larry Bird's most savage moments. We're going to be checking out what savage moments were. Here we go. Shout out to the person who made this video. I will drop the link in the description. Make sure you guys check it out. The original video. Here we go.
Bird was a killer on the court. He had a foul mouth, and he wasn't afraid of anybody.
Oh my god, was that him fighting right there?
Gave birth to some of the most ruthless trash-talking stories in NBA history. So here are the 10 best Larry Bird savage
10
moments.
best savage moments.
1988 three-point shooting contest. The three-point shot in the NBA was first introduced in the 1979
The
NBA
88 three-point shooting
Larry's
contest?
rookie year. 7 years later, at the 1986 All-Star Weekend in Dallas, the NBA brought the first official three-point shooting contest to the scene. Larry won it, and repeated next year at the All-Star Game in Seattle. In 1988, he was going for a three-peat in Chicago. Before the start of the contest, Bird entered the locker room, did not speak a word to the other competitors, and just took a good look at him. He finally said, "I'm just looking which one of you is going to come in second."
Going for the three-peat is
They all
crazy.
knew what kind of a shooter Bird was. Of course, Larry would go on to win again, proving that he's the best shooter
Wow.
in the world. He won without taking off his tracksuit, famously raising his hand while the contest-clinching three was still in the air.
Wearing his
Response to
warm-up
Craig
jersey,
Hodges. Craig
talking
Hodges was one of
trash,
the best shooters
and
in the
winning it.
80s, and he competed in the three-point shooting contest with Larry each time Bird was participating. Larry won 3 times, and Craig finished second twice. When Hodges finally took home the title of the best three-point shooter at the All-Star Weekend in 1989, reporters asked him if the main reason for his victory was Bird's injury and non-participation. Craig said, "Larry knows where he can fight," and Bird replied, "I know where. The end of the Chicago
Oh.
bench, the left-handed game."
That's
Bird was
savage.
in the prime of his basketball brilliance. In the
He said, "You're on the end of the
85-86
bench,
season,
sir.
when he led
We
the
don't know
Celtics
you."
to the title. They lost only one game at home throughout the season and the playoffs, setting an NBA record with 50-1. The Portland Trail Blazers were the only team to defeat the Celtics.
Let's go,
in
Blazers.
December, so they were a good bet to win in front of their crowd in February. Before the game, Bird surprised his teammates and journalists by saying that he would shoot all his shots with his left hand, except long jumpers. This was the last game of a long road trip, and Larry would always find new motivations and challenges to get through the monotonous.
Did he really
grind of
play the
regular
whole game
season.
lefty?
The game against Portland, he'd go on to have one of the most memorable games of his career. He hit a shot to send the game to overtime, and then hit a game winner in the OT. Bird finished the game with
Wow.
47 points, with 14 rebounds and 11 assists. He scored 22 points with his left hand out of sheer boredom
Wow.
and fun, which tells you how insanely good and confident
22
this guy
points with the
was.
left hand in a
White
real
guys
game.
guarding him. Larry is not white. Larry is
Larry is
said Bill
clear.
Murray in Space Jam, while explaining Bird's ethnicity to Michael Jordan. Larry Bird had skills for days. He was thinking the game 3 moves in advance, and his jump shot was money. He was nimble at 6'9".
6'9" is
He was
crazy.
an athletic player. Bird suffered from WMCJ syndrome, which stands for white men can't jump, and he was aware of it. On one occasion, he called basketball a black man's game due to the natural ability and athleticism of African American players. Because of that, he hated when the opposing teams would defend him with another white guy. He said that it was disrespectful to his
Yo.
greatness because he was dropping 30 and 40 on the most athletic players in the
Okay.
league. So if you put an
That's
unathletic
next
white guy
level.
on him, that's barbecue chicken right there. In the
Saying
trainer's
it's
life,
disrespectful not to
the
have a
highest
black
scoring
guy
game in Larry
guarding
Bird's
you is
career came in the
craziness.
1986 season.
That's
The game
crazy.
against Dominique Wilkins in the Atlanta Hawks.
That's real, but
Beginning
that's
of the first
crazy.
quarter, it was obvious that Larry is in the zone. He'd hit everything he
Oh yeah,
threw
the
in
Hawks
basket,
game.
with the announcers repeatedly saying they were watching the greatest shooting exhibition in basketball history. Bird scored 60 on 61% shooting and 15 of 16 on free throws,
Shooting
hitting
hitting
ridiculous
every
shots
shot.
over several players. During the game, he suddenly said, "in the trainer's lap," to Hawks players, which meant he would try to make a 3 from the corner near the opposing bench. He got the ball, made the shot, and one Hawks player who tried to guard him tripped over and fell exactly into the trainer's lap, just like Bird predicted. The Hawks bench was so amazed that they were laughing and high-fiving each other. Totally
Yeah,
perplexed by
he had
Bird's
the Hawks
brilliance.
bench cheering,
After
going
that,
crazy
they
for
were
him.
fined by their
That's
coach,
next
Mike
level
Fratello,
greatness.
for cheering on the opposing player,
Never to be seen
tormenting
again.
Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman was one of the best defenders in NBA history, with quick feet, long arms, and a motor that never shut down. He was a pest, an annoying pest who never stopped guarding, provoking.
I need a
and
Rodman
in
jersey,
everybody's
man.
face. And he used to be a nightmare
Ooh.
for scorers around the NBA. However, when he was just starting out, he needed to get some schooling from Bird. After Larry scored
What,
40
Larry Bird
consecutive
owned
shots
him?
over Rodman, He opened his mean mouth and started destroying Rodman. Bird started yelling at Rodman's coach, Chuck Daly. "Who's guarding me, Chuck? Is anyone guarding me? You better get someone on me or I'm gonna
Oh
go
my
for
God.
60. Even though Rodman was almost superglued to him in an effort to deny him the ball, Bird was at his sarcastic best. "I'm open. Hurry up before they notice nobody is guarding me." Merry effing Christmas. 1990.
Wow.
Larry Bird loved to play against the Indiana Pacers, where he was always greeted as a king. It was where the hick from
Oh,
French Lick
Indiana
grew
State.
up, made his first basketball steps, and took Indiana State University to the 1979 NCAA
Whoa.
Finals. And the game Boston played against the Pacers
He took them to the
played on
finals?
December 26, 1990, will forever be etched in memory of the Pacers shooting guard, Chuck Rifleman Person. Before the game, Person said
Wow.
to the reporters,
That's next
"Rifleman
level.
is in the building. I'm going bird hunting today." Bird received the ball in the corner and shot a three-pointer. As the ball was flying towards the basket, Bird turned to Person and said, "Merry effing Christmas." The ball, of course, came in without touching the rim,
Wow.
torching the Suns' bench.
That's
Best
savage.
teams in the NBA often coast
Merry
through the
effing
regular
Christmas.
season and can lose their edge and focus when playing against mediocre opponents. In one game against the Phoenix Suns, the Celtics lost a double-digit lead and were trailing by 2 in the final seconds. The Celtics had the possession, and they could tie the game and go to overtime, or win it with a 3. Larry knew his Celtics shouldn't be losing a game to the Suns, and he wanted to play.
Yo, those
no
Celtics were
overtime.
so
he went
legendary
to the
back
Suns'
then. They had so
bench
many
and
Hall of
told all
Famers.
the players and coaches what was about to happen. "Yeah, I'm going to bust a 3 on you guys and just go home. I'm tired of this." Unsurprisingly, he lived up to his word. As the ball was still in the air, he turned towards the Phoenix bench and yelled, "Told you so," as the ball was
Wow.
going through the net. Calling his shot against Xavier McDaniel.
So you always just called a shot, basically.
Xavier McDaniel was one of the most notorious NBA players in the 80s. And on the courts, he liked to get physical, like Olivia
Ooh.
Newton-John. When he was playing for the Sonics and the Knicks, nobody was really messing with X-Man. However, Bird was not afraid of a scuffle, and there are
Yeah,
multiple
Bird's
stories of Larry
not afraid of
participating in
anybody.
bar fights during his NBA career. In a crowded Supersonics arena, Boston and Seattle
Bar
played
fights?
a close game tied just 10 seconds before the end. At that point, Celtics coach Casey Jones
Did you say
called
bar
a
fights a minute ago?
timeout, and Bird confidently told him to just give him the ball and that the others move the hell out of the way. On his way back to the floor, Larry said, "That's exactly where I'll get the ball, and I'll score the game winner in your face," while X-Man replied, "I know you will get it there. I'm waiting for you." Bird received the ball right where he said he would and made a tough fadeaway shot. After Bird realized there
Too
was still
tough.
2 seconds left, he told McDaniel, "Damn, I didn't want to leave 2 seconds on."
Oh, wait, I heard about
While
this.
X-Man walked back to the Sonics bench in disbelief, tormenting a young Clyde Drexler.
Not my Drexler.
Before Clyde Drexler came into the NBA, he was one of the
Bro,
best
no
players
way.
in college basketball, forming the famous Phi Slamma Jamma with Hakeem Olajuwon at the University
Drexler?
of Houston. Drexler was selected by the Blazers with the
My
14th
king?
pick in the 1983 NBA draft. And even as a rookie, he was already one of the most athletic guys at his position.
Yes, sir.
However, Bird wasn't impressed. When Drexler subbed in the game against the Celtics, he started guarding Bird. Larry smiled at him and mockingly said, "You can't stop me. You're a rookie. You don't know anything." He would proceed to hit jump
Yo.
shot after jump shot over Drexler before the Blazers coach had mercy on him.
Yo,
and subbed him
Drexler had to
out.
get subbed
Bird
out.
was laughing at Clyde on the way to the bench.
Alright, y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction video. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you next one. Peace.